I respond, my brother Chung, to the invitation to introduce myself. Let me tell you that I've been visiting Malaysia since 1988. And I actually lived in Malaysia for 5 years when I got permanent residence. And my impression of Malaysia is that while the Chinese and the Malay and the Indians, but particularly the Chinese and the Malay, are living together in the same country, they appear to be living as strangers to each other. And I'm so happy that you are making an effort, courageously so, to try to bridge the gap between the two people. I come from forefathers who left India about 200 years ago, looking for a better way of life in the Caribbean. I was born in the Caribbean island of Trinidad, which is at the closest point only 9 miles away from Venezuela. And we have Spanish as a second language in our schools. But we are an English-speaking people. So I am the third generation in Trinidad. I studied Islam for 1 year in Egypt at the most famous Islamic university in the world of Islam, the Al-Azhar University in Cairo. But then left Egypt and went to Pakistan and studied under a very famous scholar of Islam, a philosopher and an Islamic scholar, Maulana Dr. Fadlur Rahman Ansari. And then I graduated from the Karachi University in philosophy, went back to Trinidad and joined the Foreign Service, the Ministry of Foreign Affairs. I got a scholarship to go to the Institute of International Relations of the University of the West Indies to study international politics, international economics. And then I got a further scholarship to go to the Graduate Institute of International Studies in Geneva, Switzerland, to do the PhD. I worked in the Foreign Service for about 5 years, but I didn't like the job. I didn't have the freedom to speak. You're a diplomat. So I retired I resigned as soon as my contract was over. And since then, I have been a roving Islamic scholar. I spent about 12 years in the United States. They were very beneficial years for me for understanding the world. And since 9/11, I left the United States. I knew I wouldn't have freedom there anymore. And I've been traveling and writing books on Islam. And I started to specialize in Islamic eschatology. And Malaysia has been a home for me for many years. And the people of Malaysia have welcomed me in a very nice and friendly way. And I've grown to like your durian. And I'm back here after 5 years. Yeah.
Imran, that is so heartening to hear that you have spent some time in Malaysia and you understand the pressures that we in Malaysia go through, and of course the silos that we built around us. But nonetheless, this question needs to be asked because, as it stands, we don't really understand each other, as you quite rightly point out. What do non-Muslims like me need to know about Islam?
It is necessary for every human being, whether you're Chinese or Indian or Malay or European, it makes no difference. You're a human being. And every human being must use the rational faculty with which you have been endowed, the rational faculty to think. And those who fail to think will pay the price for it. And when you think, you have to find out what is that which explains all things, what is truth. Every Chinese would want to know what is truth. Every Indian would want to know what is truth. And the The answer to that question is truth is that which explains all things, which explains our existence, which gave us this wondrous diversity, that some people are fair skinned, some people are dark skinned, some people are shaped like this, others are shaped like that. Not that we should be rivals with each other, not that some should believe we are born superior to the other, with chips on your shoulder. Such a people are diseased. The diversity amongst mankind is not a liability, it's an asset. It is similar to the different colors of the flowers in the garden. And the diversity should be a means through which we will distinguish ourselves from each other in a positive way and build contacts with each other. If you didn't have rivers in the world, if you didn't have mountains in the world, how would you know direction? So similarly, the diversity that is there, well, what is it that explains the diversity in our races, our languages, our colors? And our answer is there is a supreme being. All people recognize that there is a supreme being. The difference is between those who say there is a multiplicity of divine beings and those who insist there is only one God, one unity. And therefore, from one God comes one human family. If you have a multiplicity of gods, you are setting the stage for rivalry between different human beings. And so Islam, the religion, says there is one God and there is only one religion. There are different religious communities, but one religion. And Islam means, the meaning of the word Islam, forget what you've been taught by your neighbor. The meaning of the word Islam is submission to that one God. That is Islam. And that's one God not only created us from nothing, but also sent people who would be guides to teach us. And China has a lot of knowledge about that. I wrote a book on Gautama Buddha when I was a student. And I am convinced that Gautama Buddha was one of those guides, China knows about Confucius, okay? And we in the Abrahamic faiths, we know about our father Abraham and Moses and Jesus and so on. And Malaysia has all this religious diversity here in this country. I congratulate you, Chang, that it is time for you not to live as strangers to each other, but learn how to communicate with each other. If you come to me with a sword in your hand to seek to demolish me and my conception of truth, I don't want to talk to you. If you are hostile to me, we can't have a dialogue. That's the door. Leave. Don't come back. But if you show respect for me, and if we can differ respectfully, we can have a meaningful dialogue in this country. I'm not Malaysian. I'm here. Malaysia is not the most important country for me at this time. Southeast Asia is not. Russia is far more important for me at this time than Southeast Asia. So in this old age of mine, I devote more time and more attention to the Orthodox Christian world. You know them, because those are Christians who say a man can never marry another man and get a marriage certificate here. There are other Christians who don't follow Jesus. They follow a fellow called Santa Claus. You must have heard of him. So those Christians, they're a waste of time. But these Christians are similar to us, Muslims. They have a conception of religion that is quite similar to ours. And they are the ones who are now becoming dominant in the world militarily. Russia is the dominant military power in the world today. And we are forging friendship and alliance between the world of Islam and the world of Orthodox Christianity, led by Russia. I don't hide this agenda of mine, okay? So Malaysia is not that important for me at this time, but I'm happy to be here at a time when it's the durian season, and I'm happy to respond to your invitation for today's interview. I hope we can do it again and again. What is the way on which we should follow? What is the strategy for us to start talking to each other, to understand each other? This was my introduction to Islam.
And yet, people of other faith belong to faiths which say they are the only faiths that matter, firstly. And secondly, there remain misconceptions about Islam as there are misconceptions about other religions. And having lived in America for 12 years, you know some of those misconceptions, which I'm sure you're going to be writing now.
The Quran, for us, is our absolute source of truth, not the mufti, not the minister, not Tom, Dick, and Harry. They don't speak with authority, not the king. The Quran speaks with authority. And the Christian, the Muslim, and the Jew, all three believe in a father called Abraham. And the Quran says to our Prophet Muhammad, Allah's blessing be upon him, commanding him, you must follow the religion of Abraham. Let me repeat that for your audience. The Quran commands Prophet Muhammad, Allah's blessing be upon him, that you must follow the religion of Abraham. The Christian believes in Abraham. The Jew believes in Abraham. So from which garbage bin did this nonsense come? Excuse my violent language. That Islam is a religion which came with Prophet Muhammad. It never existed before. And it is a religion of those who follow him. From which garbage bin did that nonsense come? When the Quran orders you follow the religion of Abraham. And every Christian believes in Abraham long before us. And every Jew believes in Abraham long before the Christian and the Muslim. Abraham is pivotally important for the Jew. So let us first of all demolish this nonsense that Islam is a religion which came with Prophet Muhammad for the first time, and it is a religion exclusive to those who follow him. I don't know from which garbage bin that nonsense came from. No, there is only one God and only one truth, and therefore only one religious way of life. Call it what you want. We say it's a religion of submission to him. I don't submit to any constitution. Chung, the constitution is not the supreme authority for me. You can put me in jail if you want for that statement, because it's sedition. But I don't submit to any constitution as absolute truth. I don't submit to any government as absolute truth. Okay? And I invite the Christian and the Jew and the Buddhist to do the same. Yeah, we submit to absolute truth which comes from the Lord God. That is our conception. And there is only one God, one truth, one religious way of life, but multiplicity, diversity. This is the splendor of his wisdom, that he created many different religious communities in the one true religion.
At a practical level, what does that mean for people who profess different faiths, but who live under the same sky
You
in Malaysia?
first of all must recognize you do not belong to different religions. Rather, you belong to different religious communities within the framework of the one religion, which is the religion which has come from the one God. The one God doesn't have 3 or 4 conceptions of truth, Chung. No. If you believe in one God, fine, you are my brother. If you believe in many gods, that's the road, go, leave me alone. Right? If there's one God, there's one truth.